Hey, what's up? This is your girl Diamond. I know I'm late today. I usually go live at 7. I am late today because I fell asleep. I needed my rest. And so I got a little extra Z's. And so now I'm up, ready to party. So if you are new here, we usually talk about current events, different topics. We usually have a theme. And today's theme is labels and how we are labeling ourselves and how it's not working. It never worked, but this week has really highlighted how it hasn't worked. So we're going to talk about the interview with Young MA. We're going to talk about the interview with T.S. Madison and Alonzo. We are going to talk about I also want to dip into the Patrick Todd versus Painted by Esther situation. That's not really labels. That's just a bunch of mess that I want to talk about. Also, I want to talk about the new, I don't know if it's new, I think it's new, the Dame Dash interview with what's his name? Light skinned boy. Um shit. I don't know his name. What's his name? Jason Lee. Jason Lee. Jason Lee. Yes. Um, yes, Jason Lee. I want to talk about that, just hit on that a little bit, and then it's kind of related to that, but I'm gonna play the video so y'all can understand what I'm talking about. There's stuff that we can talk about today. Just but the theme is overall like labels and stuff like that. How are y'all doing? What's y'all tea? Hey Angela, Angel. Hey CL, hey Kush, hey Ray. How are y'all doing? You look beautiful and scrumptious. Oh, thank you. Come on, beautiful and scrumptious. I'm giving my fashion thing today is cowrie shells. I'm feeling like, your lesbian auntie. I have my cowrie shell ear cuffs and then my cowrie shell earrings. Isn't it cute? A little something, little dangly danglies, and then this is my cakes is. This is my short set. It's love. This little button right here be coming in, so y'all might see my boobs sometimes. But it's a little something. Little short set with the little. It's giving lesbian auntie at the cookout. Little something. Y'all remember this looked like something the character from y'all remember Loretta Devine's character from Saving Mary Jane. Did y'all see that? Where she was a lesbian or a stud or something. It's giving something she would wear. But I love this. This was so cute. I was like, oh my God, this is black as fuck. Because the history of cowrie shells. I love it. So I felt cute. What's all that movement back there? I don't know if you knew here, but Mama is, I got body yaddy yaddy. I've been, especially now that I got thick. In my thick auntie era. Hey baby, how are you? So I'm going to what I'm wearing today. If y'all know I give y'all oh, I forgot to put in my notes. I wanted to put in um I'm putting some notes in because it's something I want to not forget to mention. Alrighty. What's going on? What y'all see? I feel like this weekend feels more like Memorial Day weekend than last week. Did y'all? I just felt like I know last week was Memorial Day weekend, but this weekend feels more right. It feels more like it. It didn't feel like it last week. This weekend is the one that feels more like, even like on the apps, like it's more fine niggas on the apps this week. Like it's something about this week. I don't know if they in town this week or what, but like I'm like, what's going on? This is a new batch of niggas, especially if you've been on apps. You kind of see the same dudes because they try to match you with the same ones. But this week, it's like in Houston, when you're in a bigger city, I don't know if it's like that. I can imagine like New York or something, New York or LA. It's just a constant rotation of new niggas because motherfuckers is always visiting. But Houston, while it's a big city, I can tell like when there's an event happening in the city on the apps because it's a bunch of new niggas. Like you can tell like when All-Star Weekend or like it's a rodeo. You can tell when it's a event or something or a holiday because it's a whole batch of new niggas that'll be on the apps. Like, oh, especially where I live. I live in the Galleria area. So because I'm so close to the Galleria Mall, like that's a prime place for people to visit. So you know, if it's a location based app, you see all the celebrity boys who on the apps, the popular boys who on the apps, and then the area I live in also is super popular for influencers. Like, it's just a bunch of the influencers live in like the high rises and the different different places in the city, and so you just run across. There's always new people. It's just where my area. I can just immediately tell when there's something going on in the city. And this week, it feels like that. It's like the apps are popping. Apps are popping and it's kind of lit. So this feels like the weekend. It doesn't feel like that on normal. It feels like it doesn't feel regular. Um Make sure if you are returning, make sure you thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you are new here. Welcome, sweeties. I'm too busy plotting on my coworkers to go on dating apps. I know that's right, coworkers. Yeah, I'm trying to think of at work. I haven't worked at a job in a long time. um Yeah, I was the boss at my last job, so you can't play with your coworkers like that. I remember I had a fine ass coworker that I ended up having him when I left the job, but while I was there, I couldn't deal with him because I I'm a trans woman who's been fired for being trans 3 times in my life, and so I know that we can't play the same games that other people might can play. Because honey, you'll be out of that job quick for sexual harassment. Not only because it's weird, that's fucking weird, but also because your trans identity, the trade can weaponize that against you. Like they can initiate some kind of sexual situation. And then because you the boss, use that to like kind of blackmail you and blah, blah, blah. I never would put a nigga in that position to be able to get me. Um, and so, yeah, at work, I don't play at work. It's just something about, and I'm like that about any kind of work, like even like movement work. Like when I'm in like community spaces, like I don't holler at nobody in community. Mm-mm. You'll never get me because sometimes they play trans men play games like that too. So I don't be hollering at people in community and at my job. It just feels uncomfortable. And it's very few. I don't know if it's me. We'll talk. Oh, this leads into the conversation. I there's some internalized, transphobia, homophobia in me. And so there is some things that I haven't worked out that there's something about me and this blends. I didn't know it was gonna go here. This goes directly into what I want to talk about. There's something about me that is, when you in community space, it kind of takes you out of the running for me to be attracted to you. Cause it's like, mm, you're not my type. You is not my type. So yeah, I'm like, my type of man ain't gonna be at the gay club. My type of man ain't gonna be at the queer community conference. My type of man is not gonna be at the just at the Kiki at the ball, the Kikiing at the queer event. My type of man really ain't gonna be doing that. And I know that's problematic, but that's where I'm at. That's who I am. That's where I'm at. And um, yeah, so it's something about it. I just don't be into the people that be into at the spaces that I hang out and be at. And I know that's something, internalized homophobia and transphobia in me, but that's where it is right now. And until I figure it out and work out the kinks, that's where I'm at. If ever. So yeah. My current fragrance, and I did this on purpose in the because I know I'm gonna talk about her later. Um Forever Mood. Forever Mood is a scent by Jackie Ina and her Forever Mood. She does candles and fragrances. And I love this one. Love, 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 love. Y'all know I love supporting Black creators. I love supporting Black small businesses. When you bring out, if I love you as a person, like as a creator and who you are in regards to who you are online, and you bring out something, baby, I'm the first one. Let's see if it's good or if it's nice. I'm gonna try it out if I got the money to do it. If you got it at an affordable price, I'm gonna try it. Like, for example, I was at when we were leaving the conference, the Building Trans Power conference last week. We all were, a lot of our flights and shit was at the same time in the airport, and so we were all eating at this big table in a little restaurant in the airport. And one of the guys, I think his name is Roman, he he sells bath stuff, and so he was talking about it. I was like, "Oh, give me the tea. Like, let me see the website. Let me see the blah 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 blah." So I go on the website, and he got it's like some CBD stuff. Like, it's some CBD, and I'm not really a CBD girl or a weed smoker, or I don't like all that shit in my products and stuff. So I know that's trendy now to put CBD and cannabis derivatives in stuff, and that's not really my tea. But I was like, hey, can you do this in a way that doesn't have that in it? Like, can you just da da da? And he was like, sure, and blah 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 blah. So I ordered right there at the table. I said, all right, I'm gonna order this. Let me tell you what I like, what I want in it, what I da 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 da. And honey, I put a little note in his little thing and paid for it right there, because I love to support people. And if it's good, I'm gonna continue to support it, because I think niggas need to, honey, build their own economic ecosystem. And so, yeah, I love. So when Jackie Aina came out with these fragrances, I was like, I really wasn't into the candles because I worked at Bath and Body Works for many, many years. And when I tell you, I left Bath and Body Works in 2019, and I am still, like right now, I still got candles. Like I still got my cabinet, my pantry used to be nothing but candles. Like it used to be stacked up, nothing but candles. No food, no seasonings, no nothing. The pantry is just candles because I burn candles in the house a lot. And so I had so many candles from working there I worked there for 8 years. And so I just never bought any of her candles because I don't need any candles. I have so many candles, and I love the fragrances that I own from BBW. And so I literally just now got down to like one shelf. I think I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crates, which is a crate has like 6 in there. I think I have 6 crates of 6 candles. So I'm just now getting down. After leaving the company in 2009 all the way to now, I'm just now getting down to where I'm like, oh, I might have to go eventually buy some candles. And so I never really got into Forever Mood for that. But when she came out with some fragrances, y'all know I'm a fragrance girly. And so I was like, cool, let me get into her scents. And that's what I used. That's what I did. I never used Bath and Body Works. Yeah, I love their candles. I also use some of their body wash stuff too, like bubble baths and stuff like that. I usually when I'm use Bath and Body Works, I'm usually using it for not the aesthetic, it's to layer fragrances. So like if I know I'm going to wear this particular fragrance, I'll do something a body wash that is that's similar to that fragrance. And so yeah, I usually use them because the best way to layer your fragrance is to use body washes and scents that complement whatever you're gonna like. If you're gonna use a vanilla based fragrance later on, use a vanilla based body wash. This is after you do your normal body washes, which are normal stuff, whatever you do to make sure your cleanliness is up and up. You can use that just to start the layering of your fragrances. It makes your scents last longer. And so, yeah, I don't really use them. I use them for that kind of purpose, just to layer scents, but definitely use candles. I also like the hand soaps too. The hand soaps usually got some variety of smell goods, and the new formula. It's not really new now, but when I left, they had reintroduced a new formula that's super, super soft and silky, and it feels good. So I use them for that. Hey, Shonette, how are you? All right, so let's get into the motherfucking tea. All right, so let's start it off hot. We're gonna go into let's go Young and MIA. Hey, Ty, how are you? Always. Let me see. All right, let me go to. All right, so Young MIA.
Because most women I've dated, was straight.
Yeah, most women she dated.
You flipped them? I mean, I wouldn't say flip. See, that a lot of people get that misconstrued. Okay, help me out. Women that I end up dating don't mean they just gay now. Right. No, they still like men. They just attracted to me. Okay. And that's it. And after me, they move back on to men. Damn. That's it. You know what I mean? So a lot of people get that misconstrued. Okay. Like, yeah, like, but that's how I know, because the eyes. I gotta see it in your eyes if you're attracted to me.
But it's not a thing where, do you know before you actually say anything?
The eyes.
Yeah. So it's not a situation
I gotta look at you and I look at you.
They need to be gay or they need to be straight or X, Y, and Z.
I don't. I prefer straight.
Why you? Whoa! But you say you weren't going for that. You just said you weren't trying to flip nobody.
I'm not flipping them.
You flipping them if they straight. Hold on. If they straight, they've never been with a woman.
I'm a different type of person, though. I'm not like gay rapperish type. You know, I'm just me.
Yeah.
Just me that loves women.
Yeah, but happen to be gay. all that's true. Everything you said is absolute truth.
So I ain't flipping them though. I'm not.
What you doing?
That's me. That's up ahead. Because most.
Okay. So, all right. So, what are y'all thoughts on that? So, Angela says that's bisexuality. Turner says, I never thought of how it is on the other side, because we had a whole fallout in this conversation with I don't say our side, but with EJ Johnson, right? Same thing. Let's go to that.
Are we swallowing? One of the biggest storylines on your spinoff was, you and your sister liking the same guy. Honestly, that is ultimately what got the show picked up. But also, in terms of the gender and sexualities and stuff like that, it was very important because that happens. I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. Like, it's just not a thing. Tell me more about that. I think, like, if you ask any of the girls, like, they'll tell you the same. And I think they're just labels. That's why, like, I don't care what, like, I'm dating someone. I'm like, I don't care what you identify as or what you call yourself, as long as you're happy being who you are. But to be honest, it's like, that's why I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there. And also, like, they're like, they kind of like wave you off. You're just like, oh, that, hey girl, like, it's not, you're not in here like the rest of us are. It's always, but I never really understood it until now, because before, when I would go and I just was like, there's something about this room. It's like, it's almost like they don't want me here. Like, I'm not really in it here because I'm not presenting as a man. I'm not presenting in that way. And to be clear, the gay community room. Yeah. So your own community. Yeah. But it's not like a shameful thing, or just like, oh, they're mean to me. But it's like, these are not my men in terms of attraction. Now, if I'm just going to have a kiki, sure. But, like, these are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms. So. So, has it always been that way for you in terms of, when it comes to men, has it always been what some people consider the straight guy always being the one that would approach you? Or somebody who, has been intimate and dating, women for most of their life, or like up until then, for sure. Absolutely.
That is literally the same exact conversation. The same exact conversation that EJ is having is the same exact conversation that young MIA is having. Like, and the tension within the labels not working, which is why the title of this live is that. The tension within the label not working with the interviewer. Of course, they're handling it in different ways, because, you have Carlos King, who is, producer, and then you got Shannon Sharp, who is dumb brute to me. That's my opinion. I don't find him to be intellectually engaging. I don't watch Club Shay for intellectual sparring, and I don't expect his questions to be deep and he go that's gay and I'm expecting bumbling buffoon from him, so I'm not expecting anything deep from Club Shay, but it does spark other people talking about it and having deeper conversations about labels. So let's talk about it. So let's talk about it. So what do y'all think that is? So somebody, Angel, immediately said that's bisexuality. So, you know, I tend to believe that that's the label that I, in my internal, you know, compass around labels and identity, that is what I would say. Like, that is what I would give. That's what I would be like, well, you're bisexual. But there are people in the world that would say, no, I just like this person. I date men, but I just like this person, this particular person. It's not like I'm just running around looking at women. I'm attracted to women. I'm looking at young MIA and I'm attracted to her, so I'll deal with her. And I think it plays into, if I'm to be honest, I think it plays into both people's problematic states. And I don't know if that's the right language, but I think it plays into both states. So the straight woman or the straight man, yes, EJ does identify as a man. So in my mind, those men aren't straight. They're probably pansexual. So I think it plays to multiple things. This is why I said labels don't work. Because somebody brought up T.S. Madison too. And so then you're adding T.S. Madison to the conversation, which I think is appropriate. I don't think that that's not appropriate, because T.S. Madison talks about this too. Trans women talked about this too. Trans women say that men that date them also identify as straight. And there's people who don't agree with that. And then there's some people who's like, just because you transition, you still have not everybody. Now, if you have transitioned totally and you know, you got the bottom surgery and blah, 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 I think that adds nuance. But I think everybody draws these arbitrary lines. Some people's lines are this, some people's lines are surgery. Some people, if you still got a penis, then he ain't straight. Everybody has where they draw the line and in where what defines these labels, which is why the labels don't work. Because everything is in black and white. And so this is why when somebody labels somebody something, I don't ever argue against it. That's your rules of who is what and what is what, how what is work. And so I don't consider the men that date me gay. I date gay men. I am around gay men all the time. In general, very few gay men are attracted to me because of how I am, how I'm a woman. They are attracted to men. And so because of that, it is hard for me to consider a man who dates me to be gay. I am totally okay with queer. Like if somebody wanted to label them as queer, okay, I'm like, you know, we do be having some queer sex or whatever. But But if they don't identify with that, how do I? It feels kind of uncomfortable to like try to force them into doing that. But I also know that part of the reason why people don't fuck with particular labels isn't because they have a problem with the label. It's because they have a problem with what comes with the label. Does that make sense? Like if I fully admit that I'm bisexual, then now I am putting myself in the LGBTQ community. And that comes along with a whole list of stereotypes. It comes along with a whole system of oppression against me. It comes along with the whole thing. Do you see what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And so some people reject it. Oh, I'm not one of them. And that's, to me, that's internalized homophobia. And it plays along. This is why it plays along with. So this side of the coin, the straight person, quote unquote, is internalized homophobia on their end. But then on the other side of the coin, with the person they're dating, they too have internalized homophobia within them. And so they want to be the token special gay. And there's something about that that's erotic to them. Look at Young MIA. She's saying, it's just something in me. They don't just be out here dealing with girls. It's me. It's a specialness that they're attributing to it, even though it's really just being fetishized. If I'm to be honest. Like you are, this person is just, is that a healthy relationship if somebody's experience of you is just exploration? Like if somebody experience of you is, this ain't really the tea that I really want. I want a man, but you a woman that I'm exploring with. It's never going to end well. I'm going to always go back to men, but you're the special one. Everybody wants to feel special, so clock that. And so I think people like this, I think it's like a puzzle piece. It's the analogy is this is a parallel. It's not the same thing. I'm just giving you like an analogy, a parallel, a puzzle piece. It's kind of how I've talked about this before. It's kind of how I think about white women connecting with black men. I think the systems of oppression against both of them groups, it creates a puzzle piece that just clicks. Doesn't mean that it always works, because they have some of the highest divorce rates, but there's a puzzle piece. I'm a white woman who wants the manly man. I want to be absolved from my white guilt. And so, why don't I connect with the stereotypical most masculine brute, blah, 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 blah. I connect with them and I treat them well to absolve me from racial guilt. Oh, I'm not racist because look, I love a black man and we have black babies and da, 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 da. It absolves her from that. Then on the male side, I am somebody who is dehumanized, sometimes emasculated, who is seen as less than a man sometimes. The world is saying that this particular type of woman is the cream of the crop, that this hyper real hair, I'm not supposed to have this. This is a trophy. She's in a position where she's softer because she is She doesn't have to deal with the harshness of racism and blah, blah, blah. So she's allowed to be soft and da da da. So I can immediately put myself in this situation where I have this submissive, soft, cream of the crop trophy type of person, and boom. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean that any of this bullshit is real and is problematic on many, many levels, but because they exist, these two type of people, there's like a puzzle piece that clicks. Does it make sense? Am I y'all getting what I'm putting down? Like, it's yes, all this shit stereotype is problematic, but because of those problems, because of those stereotypes, because of those issues and systems that can be internalized, sometimes these people who internalize them, it makes them fit. It makes them, oh, I get to absolve myself from the white guilt. I get to absolve myself from whatever the gender guilt. You get what I'm saying? The male guilt. Like, oh, I get to be the patriarch over here. I get to be the non-racist over here. It's just something about them that clicks. And I think that's the same things that happens with a homosexual or a transsexual or somebody who is queer who has that internalized homophobia that say shit like, I'm not gay, I'm a special kind of gay. I'm I'm some kind of different kind of gay. And then when the straight person say, yes, you are a different kind of gay, and that difference about you is what makes you different than all the other gays, and I want to explore with you sexually. I want to fetishize you. You're so masculine that I can explore my own sexual stuff with you without feeling like I'm abandoning my straightness. You're so masculine. You're so much like a boy. Yes, I know you're a girl. But you're so much, your performative of your gender is so much like a boy that it only makes sense that I like you, young MIA. I'm not messing with femme girls. You almost like a boy, and you so cute. Like they just click like that. And then the queer person is like, yeah, I am a special kind of. It's no surprise that young MA is as masculine as she is and engaging with this straightness in that way. And there's no surprise that EJ Johnson, while neither one of them are trans, they are so far over to the femme and masculine side, young MA being more masculine and EJ closer to the femme. Either one of them, if both of them, if EJ came out next week and said that I'm trans, nobody would bat an eye, of course. If young MA said, oh, I'm going to transition, nobody would bat an eye either, because you're so close to you're performing like a nigga, your voice, your clothes, that would be I don't want to say natural progression, but that wouldn't be a fucking surprise that people think you trying to transition anyway. Both of them. Like, I've heard it in the comments in that way. It is no I don't think it is not lost on me, and it's not a coincidence that these two people who are experiencing this kind of fetish token situation are so extreme in their gender performance. I can easily see how straight people would be like, oh, I can explore with this when it comes to fetishization. I can see how that super that can be logical to somebody. And I say that because I am somebody who, on a sexual level, we're not talking about gender identity, talk about sexuality. There are so many times that I have been a gateway to men who wanted to explore their sexuality, all because my gender presentation was so feminine, so close to cis women, so close to women in that way, that if I was to explore with somebody, this is how they think. If I'm to explore with somebody, I'll explore with you because you basically a woman. You look like a woman. You do. It's because of, and this is not saying all of them, but I've experienced this in my lived experience, and I know many who have, that this is a gateway to exploring their sexuality. And it is because of our proximity to the opposite gender. And as a trans woman, once the transition is to the point where you are passable, you really are living your truth in that way, those lines get blurred. It's like, ooh, interesting. Let me go to, there was an episode. Now, I don't really watch them, but sometimes I'll see clips and they'll spark some thoughts. There was an episode of Joe Budden's podcast where they were debating trans women tricking men and da 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 da. And one of the dudes said, one of the dudes was given a scenario of trans women tricking, and the scenario he gave, the trans women didn't actually trick anybody. Like, they didn't read her as trans. And so when the dude was coming over to her house, she texted him, hey, you know I'm trans, right? That's when she decided to tell him that when he's on the way, like, she just making sure. And so Joe Budden was like, yo, that's not tricking. She didn't trick him. She told him. That wouldn't be considered tricking. If she telling you before y'all hook up, that's her telling you. And so the other dude, he started talking about it, the light-skinned dumb one, I think he's dumb. He started talking about it like, well, like his version of tricking is just the fact that you don't tell me right then, right there when I meet you. And so and I don't consider that tricking to me. And so that goes back to that blurred line, because, you know, with the advancements of surgeries, with the advancement of, you know, science, with the advancement of so many things, the girls is out here looking like the girls, like they supposed to look. With the right surgeon, the girls are performing their gender to peak level. Same with the guys. And so attraction, when you're talking about being attracted to somebody, a lot of that is real visual. And so if the visual, people love to say, oh, it's the energy, it's something on the inside of me. Yeah, I'm a girl. That's what she just said. Young MIA. Yeah, I'm a girl, but it's something in me. Yeah, but you also a cute masculine person. Your performance of your gender is masculine and you're cute. You get what I'm saying? And so there's a visual to it. There's people, you know, there's studs and lesbians that their gender is so masculine to me that even me, who don't date assigned females at birth, I would see them and be like, damn, now if I was to do something, that's a person that I would do it with, because their performance of their gender is so masculine, and I'm so attracted to masculine gender performances. It's all performance. I know some bisexual men who reject the label because they don't see themselves as part of the mainstream LGBTQ community. They live as straight men in day-to-day lives, but they just into also men. I don't particularly like or adhere to labels. Call it what you will or how you like. I don't pay attention to them much at all. Anybody and anything is a girl sometimes for from my vantage point. The lines are definitely getting blurred as we go. Let me see. Let me go. Let's see what I have in my notes. Another element that I think that goes into to another topic about people saying they don't like labels. I think I hear people say they don't like labels, especially in these kind of conversations. I think she said it, and I think EJ said it. I think I hear this a lot. I don't like labels. I don't like labels. I don't like labels. And what's a kiki to me is that when people say they don't like labels, it's not really true, because they don't like that label. They don't like that label. But there's other labels that they just love and they embrace. You like being called a Black woman. You like being called trans. You like being called you like being called whatever the label is that you. If you got rich, you would like being called a millionaire. There's tons of labels that you don't reject. There's tons of labels that you don't reject. But there's a reason why you don't like this particular label. And that goes back to those systems of oppression, the consequences that come and the stereotypes that come with a particular label. When people say I don't like labels, almost every single time, it is I bet you I can find a label that they claim. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I met who I would label as bisexual nerds. They don't mind being considered a nerd, but that bisexual, they don't like that one. Even though distinctly, based on definition, you like the nerd label, and but you don't like the bi label because you don't want to accept being bi, or accept being whatever it is this exploring that you're doing. You want to keep the straight label, and that comes with privilege. It comes with I want the straight label because it comes without all the heaviness of community and the stereotypes and the systems, and I privilege from keeping this label. So saying you don't like it, it never really is real. Yeah, but why do we have to be labeled? I don't think it's I think that's natural. I think labeling and organizing things and categorizing things is natural. I think it's essential. We have to label and categorize things for safety, for what is this a danger or not even if it's a danger, or what is this? Is this type of plant healthy to eat, or is this type of plant poisonous to eat? Like, we need to categorize things. I think that's just natural for people to do. I don't think that I don't think it's a have to or not have to. I think it's just natural for us to categorize things. And so when you categorize things, you're gonna have a label for it. It's just like if you go in your kitchen, this it's like asking, why do I need to put labels on my seasoning? You don't need to. Some people can eye it. Some people can just throw shit together. But on your seasonings, it says garlic salt because it's fucking garlic salt. And I need to know that this is garlic salt and this is Tony Chachere's seasoning salt. And this is Laurie's. And this is, you need to label it so you know what this is. It's not really, I don't think it's particularly inherently negative. What is negative to people is when that label doesn't fit them or it comes with some negative. I only see people complain about labels when the labels comes with negative. If it is a positive, you never see people getting complaints about being a fashion girly, being a millionaire. Any positive label, nobody ever that fits them. Nobody ever rejects the positive label. Nobody ever rejects the positive label. If it's a sickening label, they like, ooh, I like that. It's never a rejection of that. It's never a rejection of any other label. The label that they reject is the one that comes with some negative connotation. That's just what it is. It's like when somebody it's kind of like white people with racism. They don't mind being racist. They don't mind having these beliefs of white supremacy, but as soon as you call them a racist, what? I'm not a racist. There's very few white supremacists that will say I'm a racist. Very few. They will say something that's racist, clearly racist. They will have a belief that is clearly racist, but the idea of the labels feels uncomfortable because it comes with a particular image. It comes with a Ku Klux Klan image. It comes with it comes with a lot of stuff that they don't want the consequences of. They want the belief, but they don't want the consequences of that label that comes with, oh, you have admitted that you're a racist. So that now it comes with, I can't support you because you're a racist. Hey, Chris, how are you? I think, yeah, I think you particularly might not make a hurrah about it, but I think that there are people in the world who usually when I see them and they say they don't like labels, it is, you like labels, you just don't like the particular ones. I kind of think of it almost like even a drag queen. There was a time in our lives, Ty, where drag queen was almost on the level of offensive because we were transsexual and we were trying to separate ourselves from drag queen. But when you particularly, when we, and at one point when we were young, me too, we wanted to be drag girls. And so we had to explain the distinction between being a drag queen and being a trans woman and how you can be both and they can be separate. But I remember a time in our life where being a drag queen was something that we had to make a distinction from because we were in a time in our life where being a drag queen almost made it illegitimize our transness. And so do you remember that time? Now, when we get older and we know the difference and we start getting into our careers as being a drag queen, yes, that name, being a drag girly, and I think that name started to evolve, but there was a time in our youth where being a drag queen wasn't something that was prestigious because it came with association with maleness. It came with association of it's a costume I'm putting on. I'm dressing up. I'm not a real girl. I'm just pretending to be a girl. I'm a female impersonator. It comes with a connotation that is seen as men. And so as a trans woman who participates in the artistry of drag, there is a distinction that needed to be made, that needed to be and I know growing up that for me and all the girls around me, there was a connotation to drag queen that was negative, that label. But then as we get older and we see girls getting into the industry of drag, it's like, oh, you can be trans and drag. She's trans. She lives her life in the daytime as a girl. as the woman that she is, but she also is into the artistry of drag, just the artistry of, hey, I am into the rhinestones, the gowns, the look, the whole artistry of drag. Yeah, I think that is an example of, labels that we can come to accept, labels of that we come to evolve around the idea and the concept, especially you particularly who has went into the career of drag. I think that there is an acceptance that could come with that. But that's how I always see it when I see people who don't like labels. It's always about there's always tons of labels that they accept openly and proudly. It is, it's the labels that come with the negative connotation or stereotypes or blah 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 that comes with consequences with the label that they usually have a problem with. And so, and I think what we're pointing out in this conversation, the glaring pointing out is the real tension between identity labels, behavior, and social status, because the consequences drop social status. You feel what I'm saying? Thank you, Moni. Thank you. The consequences of these labels, it affects your social status. Like as a if you're a man and you identify as a man, you out here playing with other men, you out here playing with trans women, it has a negative connotation when it comes to, especially that's why DL men exist, especially if you want to keep the status of a man because of homophobia. Being bi takes you down in the mainstream society. As a man, it takes you down. That's why even as a gay man, the cis people will look at you less of a man. You remember Dr. Heavenly? Was it Dr. Heavenly or Dr. What's the doctor who said something about the, I'm talking about real men. I ain't talking about bitch ass men or something, whatever she said that she got some backlash about. I can't remember what she said about gay men, where she was implying that gay men wasn't real men because they were gay. And that's we know that's wrong, but that is a sounds like Dr. Heavenly. I can't remember exactly what her name was. I think it's Dr. Heavenly. Whatever, she said something about the gay. There was some backlash about her saying it. Or is it Quad or what? I don't watch these shows. I don't watch Married to Medicine, so I just know that, just kind of know them. But I remember her having some issues with some backlash with something she said about, she's talking, I think in reference to her talking about real men and it wasn't including gay men. So and I think there's a consequence to these particular labels, and they have a problem with it. I say in my notes, if someone is consistently sexually and romantically involved with men or women outside of heterosexuality, so if you're dealing with somebody outside of the heterosexual norms, many people who are reasonable will describe that as bisexual, queer, sexually fluid, and just simply not fully straight, regardless of the public label that they particularly use. And to me, when a queer person like Young M.A. or like a trans person, and I'm not exempt to this, I do this. So I'm not saying, I'm not judging, but when we reinforce the idea that our partners are still straight, it creates a strange double standard where the queer person absorbs all the stigma. Like, they don't get to deal with all the stigma that comes with our shit. We're allowing them and absolving them from the label so they don't have to deal with all the stuff. We absorb all the stigma while the other person keeps the social privilege that is attached to heterosexuality. That's fucking problematic. And I'm speaking for my own self too. I'm not saying it as a judgment of other people. I'm saying it for my own self. Me allowing this nigga to not accept his queerness, to me, takes him off the hook for being responsible for being a part of this fight. And I haven't worked all the way through that. I just talked about earlier how, you know, I don't consider men who date me gay, but me getting them off the hook and at least acknowledging them as queer, acknowledging them as bi. I like queer. That feels comfortable with my own personal identity. Not acknowledging that you are a part of this fucking LGBTQ shit, it takes them off the hook. And for me, there's some resentment in that. When it's really fucking glaring to me is when I hook up with a dude and I ask him about his politics and ask him, did he vote? And then we get on the subject of queerness and the like voting rights about gay people. And he is talking to me as if he's not one of us. Like, you literally just have my dick in your mouth and you sitting here talking about gay people and the votes and the writing and oppression against gay people and queer people, not just gay, but gay is in the queer community. And you're talking to me like you're not in our community, and that irks me. Like you're not invested, like you don't need to be invested in this fight because you're not one of us. Nigga, fuck out of here. You are in this community. You are a part of this. Even if it's, and the reason why that is because we allow them to just dip and dabble in the community sexual. You know what I'm saying? Their foot is in it only on the sexual side. They're not in it on the political side. They're not in it on the side that, because they are privileged, because they can perform their gender in this masculine way or in this feminine way. I think about, that's the men. We know when we think about DL men, we know, and it's easy. There's a stereotype. Oh, he's a straight, masculine, straight passing person. He can perform his masculinity in a certain way. But it's the women too. I think about the women in my family. Every fucking woman in my fucking family done dealt with a woman that I know. Almost every single one, but nobody labels them as queer. Me and my gay assigned male at birth cousins are the ones they label as, oh, these are the first gay people in our family. Like, they make us, me, my cousin Duke, my cousin fucking Felix, we are seen in our family as the gay ones, like the ones that broke the gay barrier. I'm the first trans. Felix is the first gay male, but it is so many dyke ass bitches in my fucking family. My mama was with a woman for a whole year. No, my fucking aunt was doing threesomes with her husband. Y'all, all these motherfuckers was sucking pussies or getting their pussy sucked, and nobody labels them or treats them like the gay black sheep. They just normal. Just normal. And it pisses me off. It pisses me the fuck off. They get to live their life, especially as they get older and they settle down with men. Nobody bats a fucking eye. Yeah, when somebody want to be messy and bring it up just to be messy. Yeah, you was with a girl. I remember you was with a woman. Like, I remember I didn't learn my Aunt Catherine had been with a woman or been like stud, broad type of bitch in her younger years until years later. And that people start pulling out pictures. When she was being transphobic to me, people was like, I don't know why she being like that. She used to be a stud. And they started pulling out pictures of her running around like a fucking classic lesbian. Slacks and hats and on some dyke shit. I'm like, what? So now all of a sudden you with a man, you grown and you with a man. Now your whole queerness is gone. And you don't get the label no more. There's so many. I can't think of. I think my Aunt Joe is the only fucking straight one who ain't never been with no woman. But all the ones and my grandmother, but her sister, no. It's like they get to be free. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with you. I don't know if this is fair or I don't know, but I have a problem with motherfuckers enjoying the sexuality of it and not dealing with the political. I have a problem with that. I think it's shady. I think it's annoying. It annoys me, especially somebody as heavily as oppressed as I am, as a black trans woman in this world. And I'm not even talking about right now, the political climate right now. I'm talking about even back in the day, in the 90s and when I was growing up. Because I was so heavily oppressed based on my label, based on my identity, based on those things, it used to piss me off that people didn't get the same shit, didn't have to deal with the same shit that I had to deal with, even though they were doing almost some of the same exact shit. It's wild. It's crazy. And I think it's unfair. And it is a pet peeve of mine. I have had dudes. I have this sugar daddy, and he will call me, and he will say something along the lines of, "It's different times. We've been dealing with each other for 20 years, child." He will say something along the lines of, "Oh, I see they doing all that kind of crazy shit with y'all. I be seeing the stuff on the news." I be like, and in my brain, it be pissing me off. Like, nigga, I've been dealing with you for 20 years. This ain't no fucking, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no fling. This ain't no, you experimenting one time, bitch. I've been playing in your booty hole and your mouth, and you done played in mine, and my, you know what I'm saying? We done been doing this for 20 years. You one of us, motherfucker. Ain't no y'all. You is the y'all, bitch. The fuck you talking about? Exactly, Diamond. These be the same people trying to tell people what and who they are, i.e. the label thing. Yes, and I see it with the gays too. I'll meet gay men. I call them house party niggas. House gays. It's the gay men. They're openly gay. They mess with dudes exclusively. There's a female version to this too that are lesbian. But they will pride themselves on not being in community. They will pride themselves on not going to the gay club, not going to the pride, not being in the ball scene. They will pride themselves on how opposite of, thank you, Keystar. Thank you. I appreciate you. They will pride themselves on how far away from the gay community they are. And they will be demonizing, or it would be like a detriment to the image of the actual queer people who are in those spaces. They would look down on them like it's prestigious that they don't do all of that kind of stuff. I'm gay, but I mess with dudes, but I'm not into that. When you doing literally, you on Griner, you popping your fucking fiber pills so the motherfucker can plunge your booty hole. You on prep, or maybe you're not, because that's gay culture too. You're doing all the exact same shit on a sexual level. It's just you're rejecting the fucking culture. I think that's homophobia. I think that I done met so many people like that. I done met so many people where I'm like, nigga, you ain't special because you ain't going to the clubs and going to Pride, and you ain't fighting for our rights. You ain't on the front line. You ain't special, bitch. You just them same motherfuckers that you motherfuckers that benefit from the fight. You benefit from the fight. And if you get discriminated against, you gonna want us to support you. You gonna use the same laws that we fought for to help you get to sue the people. When we think about, remember the situation with I say this not being shady, but being motherfucking real. Y'all remember the situation with what the fuck is his name? That was so anti being trans, and then when BET was fucking with him, now he trans and want to sue and get a coin. What the fuck is his name? B. Scott, yes. B. Scott. Y'all remember when I remember sitting on a live with him as a fan, and somebody asked, was he trans? And he was like, oh, I'm not one of them. I'm not crazy. I'm not one, saying on some fucking Flame Monroe type of level. I'm not crazy. I know I'm a man. I know who I am. I just like makeup. I just have long hair, and I'm a man. I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm a woman. And really shitting on trans people. Like, y'all crazy, y'all not real women, da. Then when you get to the BET thing and they put you in some church slacks and some boy shoes, and you don't want to wear that shit because you wanted to perform your gender in your particular way, all of a sudden, because of trans people being on the forefront of people's mind, now all of a sudden you want to be transgender. You want to be trans. You want to sue with the laws that we gave you. They trans non-binary. Oh yeah. You want to be trans now, but before you didn't want to fuck with us. You didn't want that label. But now that you got a situation with BET, and you can sue. You want to use that label to be able to sue them motherfuckers, and you got a coin. You benefited from being trans for the fight that we fucking put up. But before, you didn't want to you didn't want to accept the label. Your bitch ass didn't want to, we was crazy. You didn't want to be crazy. Fuck you. That pissed me the fuck off. That's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. These motherfuckers want to benefit. They want to benefit from the fight that the trans people that go to the club, that go to the Capitol, that go and fight these fights every legislative season. They want to benefit from not being discriminated against at work, but they don't want the label. They don't want to be considered that. They don't want to be, I'm not gay. I'm not trans. And I think this is problematic, but I think there's people who, one of the reasons why they don't accept some of the labels is exactly what I just said. I recently, let me go to my notes, because I don't think that this is always negative and malicious, or intentional. But I recently watched Alonzo on the T.S. Madison interview. Alonzo Arnold. So if you watch that interview, I thought it was amazing. I love Maddie bringing him on the show. But a lot of the stuff that he was saying was the reason why he did not want to consider himself trans is because, and it's not saying that he has to. I want that to be clear, because there is a level of, we don't need to be pushing people into shit. You accept it. But a lot of times when I hear people, you doing all the stuff, you getting BBLs, you got the wigs, you got the makeup, you want a more feminine image, it's starting to be more permanent. You're doing all the stuff, and then when somebody asks you about it, it is the fear and the negative connotation that comes with those identities. Not saying that there are nuance and fluidity. Absolutely. I think that they explained it perfectly. But I do think it was very clear in the interview that one of the only reasons why they don't accept it is because of the negative that comes with the label. It's not because they don't feel like a woman, because they kept saying, I've always felt like a girl. I've always felt like that. But when it comes to the negative stuff that comes with it, how my family is going to respond, how the public is going to respond, when all of this stuff comes, am I comfortable with that? No, a lot of people are not. A lot of people don't have that in them. And so they will sit and perform. They will sit in this kind of gray area. And that's okay. I'm not saying that that's not okay. It's okay to be that. It's okay to be in the gray area, and it's okay. But I want to point out that a lot of the situation is not because they don't like the label. It is because they don't like what comes with the label. That's what it is. Alonzo is giving me later in life isolated transitioner. But it don't even give later in life. They basically they basically is transition. Basically, they get when you a nigga and you start getting BBLs, child, and them titties is starting to grow. I'm like, okay, I'm not pushing no label on nobody at all. I'm never gonna do that. But there's a reason. And I think that young MIA, I think there's a fetish. I think there's a fetish in her about performing masculinity. She doesn't want to claim being a man because she was assigned female at birth, but there's something about her proximity. There's something about the proximity to men that she values that makes her feel special. And I think the opposite of that would be like a Saucy Santana, a EJ. You get what I'm saying? I think that these are examples. I think that these are mirror examples. Young MA. I be wanting to call her Young Ma. Young MA. I think there are people that are mirror images of each other. Young MA. And it's a different nuance because I don't think like that with Lena. I don't think like that with Lena. Waithe. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like Lena Waithe fetishizes her proximity to men. I don't think her masculinity is something she fetishizes in the way that Young M.A. does. This is my own opinion about people that I don't fucking know. I don't know these people. Lena gives that she embraces being a woman. She loves being a woman. She loves her masculine, being a masculine woman. She embraces being a lesbian. She embraces that. There's a difference, and I think young MA fetishizes her proximity to a man. That's why when she says it is something in me that makes me be able to get these type of straight women, I think that there is a subtext of that she's in competition with cis men. You can't move me from that. I think that there is a competition and a fetishization for how she's able to be in proximity to the identity of cis malehood, cis heteronormativity. I'm able to pull these type of bitches just like these niggas. There is a pride in that is rooted in homophobia. And internalized homophobia. That's what I think. Now I'm not saying that this could be true. This is what I believe. This is what I think. I don't know. She might can explain it herself. But I think that there is a fetish for that proximity. I don't think it's just in it goes back to self-reflection. I remember, I think I'm growing out of it. I think I have grown out of it as I got older. But I remember when I was in my teens and in my early 20s, there was a particular prestige that I would get from pulling a nigga who was a first timer. It was a prestige with me pulling a nigga who had never been with a man or a trans or like me, him choosing me, and this is a pick me type of shit. There was a prestige and a particular badge of honor that I would be gloating about internally of, ooh, this is a trade. This is somebody that never messed around. And I would be proud of it, and I'm not even talking about pride and bragging it to other people. I'm talking about for myself, not talking about telling other people, oh, I had this piece of trade. No, I've never been that girl anyway. I don't like telling people who I mess with. It was for me. It was my personal shit. If you are, thank you, Raven. If you are watching and you are enjoying the conversation, make sure you thumbs up. It is 64 people in here and only 34 people have thumbs up. This is free. This is how you let me know that you are enjoying the conversation and that you hear, that you're engaging. Go ahead and click thumbs up so that I know that you're here and we are, and also participate, join in the conversation. Yes, it's a lot of people in here. And thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. So yes, there was a time when I too fetishized this unicorn of a fucking person who was using me as a gateway to their exploration. And that to me, at the time that it was going on, I didn't think of it as problematic. Let me see in my notes. I didn't think of it as problematic because I'm trying to. When I was younger, I also was in my own exploration. I was also trying to prove something. I was also trying to, because I was just exploring and trying to get my degree and trying to get my life stable. I was dealing with all the socioeconomic shit. When I got more stable and started to want authentic, healthy relationship, it started to be annoying that I wasn't being able to get that. It started to be like, oh, people are willing to be sexual with me, but actually some authentic relationship, oh, that's not happening. And I'm seeing, you know, I'm seeing this happening with other people, and I'm like, oh, well, why? And now I have to examine why are these opportunities of romantic partnership commitment evading me? Being with them validates your womanhood. Yes. When you think your womanhood is validated by your proximity to men, we all had to grow out of that. Yes. I'm trying to think of a scenario. It wasn't a particular happening. I was trying to think if there was a particular happening that really shined a light on it. I guess one of the things that really one of y'all done that video called Meeting the Man of My Dreams, one of my old videos talking about Lawrence. That was a particular shift in me too. That particular video, a lot of people like it and talk about it. Even like when I meet people in public in settings and people have been following me for a long time, that's a video that they reference a lot. That was a moment that really clicked with me. The video is called Meeting the Man of My Dreams. And because of that scenario, I have been in that scenario multiple times, but what was different about that scenario is the perfection of Lawrence. Usually it's hard to meet a man who got all of your, all of what you like. And when I'm not just talking about looks, I'm talking about personality and like culture. So when I met Lawrence, not only was he attractive and beautiful and chocolate and everything that I would want in a man as far as his look. His height was perfect. His teeth was perfect. He smelled good. His fashions were perfect. He was perfect physically. When I went to his house and met his parents, if you remember the video, when I went to his house, we went on a date. And we started the date off at a sports bar, and how he moved into space as a man was perfection. He was respectful to the women. He pulled my chair out. How he engaged with the other men as like an alpha, and not in a bully way, but I'm a man with my own mind, and I can share, I can joke, I can laugh with the men, and how he move in a room with other men and women. He's not only, that he was there with me, but he's also respecting the women in the space and talking to them in a way that's not disrespectful to me and respectful to them. And he's just moving in the space as a man. Exactly. He is performing his gender. He is performing his social powers. Yes, he is performing his masculinity in a way that is to perfection. That is like exactly how I like. It feels safe. It feels protective. It feels masculine. It feels amazing. So that's one layer. So I just gave y'all two. His beauty, his look, his physical perfection, how his social prowess, that. Then I go to his house where his mother, we go to his mother's house. How he maneuvered with his mother, who his mother was, how I talked about how she had this, she was overly zealous about Tyler Perry. She was one of them aunties that go to every Tyler Perry movie. She gonna have a Tyler Perry collection. She is Tyler Perry's core audience. And so when I'm in her space and she is so sweet, she is the classic Black woman that I fucking love. Like, she is nice. She gonna offer you something to eat. She gonna kiki with you. She funny. Everything about her and her engagement. The house was I'm talking about the house was clean. You know that she taught him to be a clean man, how he engaged with her. You just see how the mama-son relationship is beautiful and healthy. And so even that layer of, ooh, this would be a perfect mother-in-law. I would spoil the fuck out of her because she's so black, unapologetically black and loving, and the kind of black woman that is the stereotype in the best way possible. And she got fucking black Jesus on the wall. You feel what I'm saying? It is that classic black good mother. That the men be mama's boys in a healthy way. So he was that. So the layer of his look, the layer of how he moved in the world, and the layer of that, it made him perfect. And so when I take him back to my place and do my stereotypical shit where, honey, I'm doing my things, it was too glaring. Everything about the scenario, it was, in other situations, I could be like, oh, you ain't, oh, he wasn't even all that anyway. Like, if it didn't work out, I can dismiss it. This nigga was so perfect that I couldn't dismiss it. And him to me, it wasn't just he's perfect to me. He's explaining to me how your vibe is perfect to me. And we've talked since then. And we talked about how great, like he talked about how the date was so perfect. Like, it was the perfect date. We went, after we left his mom's house and we went to another restaurant. We were supposed to just do a daytime date. Baby, we spent the whole day together. Then we left his mom's house and we laughing and joking. We having such a good time. And he drives a stick shift, and I was out. And basically we were talking about how I told him I didn't know how to drive a stick. And he was like, oh, it's easy. Pulled into the fucking cul-de-sac, like a fucking, a little subdivision. And he's literally teaching me how to drive a stick. And we're laughing. It's fun. It was the perfect fucking date. And we both knew. Now, he didn't know as far as transness, but this would have turned into a relationship if I wasn't trans. I know it would. I said it and he said it. And it was too glaring. It was too glaring of a perfection to where I was like, I will never be in this situation again. I will never be in this situation where I am not telling my tea and feeling this, because whatever this feeling is, I don't like it. Whatever this feeling is of, man, this has the potential, and this heavy label is about to come in and blow it up. Whatever comes with this label is about to come in and blow it up. I need you to know this label up front. And because that happened, it shifted how I moved in the world. It shifted my mindset about transness. It shifted my mindset about how I presented it. Before I even get emotionally attached with anybody, you need to know my tea. Before, I used to play this dance of revealing my tea slowly because I thought that it would be more accepted. Now it's solely safety. I'm not telling you my tea if we're not doing nothing. If we're not going, but now I'm the type that if this could be a potential relationship, this is what it is. Anytime I feel some type of good chemistry with a dude, immediately gotta let you know, because the chemistry is here, and I don't ever, whatever feeling of devastation that I felt in that scenario, I never want to feel it again, and I never have. Because there was a devastation in that scenario that was like, whoa, I could see this turning into something so powerfully beautiful if I was a cisgender girl. And I never want to feel this again. Hey, Brandon. Welcome back. Welcome back. You've been gone for a minute. Now you back with the jump off. And so it was sad. And so I started to move differently. And and it taught me that I can't, I need to just pull the Band-Aid off. That's what it felt like. It felt like I need to just pull the Band-Aid off. So I'm never being played with in that way. And not saying that he played with me. I'm just saying I'm playing with my fucking self. I never wanted to be in that scenario ever again. Because like I said, prior to that, I didn't feel the depth of it. So he didn't want to continue to see you. No, because I wasn't. He had a dream for his life. He had a dream of having children. And we talked about this deeply, not in the moment, but when we hooked up, not hooked up sexually, but we reconnected years later. He worked at something, and I seen him there, and we really sat down and had a deeper conversation. And because he wanted a family like a normal cisgender man, while I was perfect, I didn't fit the dream. I fit the dream in every other way. But his dream of, I ain't got no children and I want children, me choosing you would eliminate that in the way that I wanted it to happen. And yeah, that's what it was. And I'm never going to be in a situation, and even myself, I'm never going to be in a situation where I feel like I am somebody is compromising to where I feel like I'm the second choice. They're settling, or I'm less than. I can't deal with that. Like, I can't deal with deal with a man like that. Like, anything that makes me feel like a nigga is settling for me, no, I'll never be with a dude. Especially if they express it. Now, if I don't know it, but if I feel it and I feel like, this feels like a settling, I'm not dealing with that. No. Did he say, or did you sense that experience affected his outlook on family? No, I didn't sense any of that as far as his outlook on family. What I did sense of him is that his experience with me shifted his mindset about trans people. Hey, Diamond, this sounds like when I was falling for a dude heavily involved in church, as if I was going to be a first lady. I think that could be a scenario if he dreams of being like a pastor or something. He talked about deeply considering it and then thinking about what his idea of relationship was, what his perfect future would look like in regards to we all have a dream of what it looks like. And so his future for him, his future was, he wanted to be a husband. He wanted to be a family man. He wanted to be with his wife and with his kids. And he is that now. I've seen him recently. Not recently, but I've seen him. He is that. He accomplished that in his life. I think for me, I think, I don't want to say just me. I think we all have the ideal of that. ideal of what would, like, if you could create your perfect relationship, how that would look. And so I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't, I couldn't create that for him, which is understandable. Totally get it. But me, from my perspective, I never wanted to be in that situation again. That feeling of, wow, this could have been something. Because it's too bright light. It's too much shine on me not being cis. And that was like, ooh, you too invested in this. You need to, you have to accept being trans. In order for you to move past this, you have to accept being trans. And in that moment in my 20s, that's when I had to be like, oh, this is not enough. This is not efficient. You have to accept being trans. This is your reality. Whatever investment you got in cis heteronormativity, you got to put a coffin in that. You got to put a nail in that, because that's not going to work for you. Because that's not what it is. That's not what you're going to do. You have to accept being trans. You are a trans woman. Prior to that, it was slowly coming to it, but that situation is similar to how this wasn't just, that is a moment that I remember in my adulthood, but there are also moments as I came out of childhood into womanhood, girlhood into womanhood. When I was a kid, there was a particular care about me that society had, all default, because you're a kid. We're invested in you going to school. We invested in you eating. We invested in you taking care of you, because the world says you take care of children. No matter they're queer, blah, 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 the teachers, everybody. But when you become 18 and you're an adult and you're out in the world as an adult, motherfucker don't give a fuck about you. Society no longer cares about you as a child anymore. So you're an adult now. So it's almost a throwaway type of situation. And there's a certain level of care that the world gave that is taken away from you when you're no longer a child. And as a trans person, for me, I don't know about nobody else, that is when my transness became the most heavy. Whereas my transness was just a quirky part of me as a kid, but when I became an adult, the weight of transness became heavy as fuck. Now I can't get jobs. Now my name is not changed. Now I'm getting fired from jobs. Now I'm out in the world where now these grown ass men is trying to fetishize me. Whereas when I was a kid, while not saying that the grown ass men wasn't trying to fetishize me, now it's not illegal. Now they can try to use me and throw me away and there be no consequences. Whereas when you're a kid, they got to sneak and do certain things because it's illegal. And so there's a certain level of respect of the law. It's a whole thing. But once you become an adult, it's not illegal no more. So they can try to fetishize you and use you and harm you in ways that it's not illegal no more because you're an adult. Does that make sense? Like, am I explaining that? It is a cultural shift as adulthood happened. So these dreams of when I was younger as a young trans person, remember, I transitioned as a young trans person, as a teenager. And so I thought when I was younger, in my young kid mind, I thought I had the typical dream. I thought I was going to meet a man. We're going to fall in love. And that love is going to be so strong that he's going to be able to look past all of the stuff. And I'm going to go to college. We're going to live together. We're gonna have a dog. We might adopt kids, blah, blah, blah. I had all of these dreams and high aspirations, romantic aspirations. But when you get into adulthood as a trans person and the real world hits you, it hits you motherfucking hard. And you realize that all of these dreams that you had that was sold to you in movies about being a girl, that was sold to you in movies about being a woman, you don't have access to that, baby. You don't have access to that. And as you get older, you realize that even the cis girls don't have access to that because of whatever reason, whatever the desirability politics closed them off from that, whatever that they too have something that can be barriers for them from that romantic dream, whatever it can be. Now, it's not the trans issue, but I start to realize that, oh, this is false. This is not real. This is unattainable. And then you see, oh, it can be attainable, but there's so many compromises that you're going to have to make. You dealing with the trauma of men. You dealing with patriarchy. You dealing with, they have their own, even the men have their own rules and dreams of how a relationship's supposed to be. And sometimes that feels oppressive. It feels, oh, you got to submit. I got to sacrifice so much of my identity to please you as a man. And that's how I'm supposed to look as a woman. And all of these things start to be a reality where you didn't know as a kid how that shit worked. But as an adult, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be ride or die. And the measurement of my womanhood is based on how much I can deal with the pain of you cheating, deal with the pain of you harming me, deal with the pain of your trauma. Oh, no, I don't like this type of womanhood. This is late. Oh, no. That's not. Oh, whoa. I don't like this. No, what about, no. And so at first I was like, oh, the turfies will give you, the turf women will be like, sweetie, that's being a woman. You're not a real woman, and you realize this is how real women have to deal with. Bitch, fuck you, first of all. But second, I'm also with other young cis women, and they're getting hit by the truck of reality too. And they were born with a vagina. So it's not just me coming to this realization because I'm trans. It's cis women that is coming to this realization like, whoa, this is not how romance was supposed to be. This is not how the world that sold it to me. This is not it. And so I'm realizing that this was a whole, whatever this ideal was, there were some barriers to getting to that. There were some barriers, and yeah. And it's all based on these labels of, if you're a woman, this is what your trajectory is. You go to school, get a husband, be a mother. You start earning these labels, wife, mother. And these are the prestigious labels. Got it? These are the prestigious ones. Be chose. Now you're a wife. You went from girlfriend label to wife, and the prestigious one is wife. Idealistically, if you have some religious stuff, you be girlfriend, wife, mother after wife. You see the difference? Prestige is you be wife first and then mother. Now, life puts people in different situations where they be mother before wife. But these are all the things, these labels that comes along. Nobody wants to be the baby mama. The label. And I'm seeing all of this shit play out. As a trans woman, I could never be the baby mama. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't have a risk with that negative connotation of that label. I don't have the risk of all my failed relationships. They gone. I don't have some baggage along with it. I don't have no baby daddy that I regret. So I guess that's a positive on the positive. I've never been locked down to no motherfucking nigga in the way that a cisgender woman could have been in her younger years when she was naive, thinking that that whatever that fantasy, it ain't motherfucking real. But yeah. Well, I want to make sure this is in my, what else is in my notes? I said in my notes that some queer people are taught that openly queer partners were less desirable and unsafe and socially lowering. Yes, no fats, no femmes. The culture of I got a real man. I got a, my trade is, my trade performs his masculinity a certain way. It seems more prestigious. And so that goes back to what I was saying about straight men being the ideal, problematically being the ideal. Anybody who can perform their straightness. Masculinity and heterosexuality become intertwined in a lot of cultures. Masculinity and heterosexuality become intertwined in a lot of cultures, so the straight label itself can be eroticized. Not just the person, but the status that it represents. Clock that. The straight label itself can be eroticized. Just the fact that you're claiming straight. And this is for the gays. This ain't for them. This is for the gays fetishizing the straights. Hey, A. Watson. Hey, Java. Believe that one of the major reasons so many queer folks are single. And so, because of this, we already talked about DL. So the secrecy can be tolerated. Because the straightness is fetishized, the secrecy and keeping it on the low. I remember when I was a high schooler and the boy that I was loving on, and he was loving on me, I used to make the excuse of he would have to have a cisgender girl because he was straight. So I would myself, he didn't even have to do this work. He didn't have to convince me to do it. My stupid ass was doing it to myself. Because he was straight, he could cheat on me with cisgender girls, but he couldn't cheat on me with other trans women. Crazy. Because he was straight. He had to get pussy. He's straight. It was so late. Oh, I was so dumb when I was little. So fucking stupid. And they didn't. The crazy part, they didn't have to do this work. Like they didn't have to manipulate me. They didn't have to sell this to me. They didn't have to say, "Oh, baby, I'm straight. You know I'm straight." I did this to my motherfucking self. Make sure you thumbs up. There are 61 people in here and only 49 people have thumbs up. Make sure you thumbs up. Thank you for tuning in. So secrecy becomes tolerated. Emotional availability becomes unavailability. Emotional unavailability becomes attractive. Like when you fetishize straight people, them being emotionally unavailable becomes like, oh, unattractive. When that's not a healthy relationship. You once again taking them off the hook for caring about your feelings. Them being emotional or unavailable, you have this toxic relationship to it, to where them shitting on you and not caring about your feelings, not caring about holding commitments, putting you on the back burner, putting your emotions on the back burner. You fetishize that. That's because they're straight. They're what's Miss Thing say? He's just in a hard situation now, Savannah. That's a good man. Except in that situation, that's the mama trying to convince you. My dumb ass, it would be myself. That's a good man, Savannah. He's just in a hard situation right now. That's a good man. Well, mama, you fuck him then. It's easy when you have this situation where you have this toxic relationship with fetishizing straight people. It can, as a queer person, it can put you in a situation where you are disposable and hidden. And so that gray area, it can be, motherfuckers can kill you. Motherfucker can kill you. That it just, child. I'm just so glad I grew out of it. I'm just glad that I did. And I think by us queer people accepting their label as straight. Now, this doesn't mean that they gotta automatically be like, I'm LGBT, I'm the B, or I'm the Q, or whatever. It doesn't mean that they can accept. I feel that's on them. But us playing with not acknowledging that they're a part of our community and letting them have the privilege of being straight while doing queer sexual behavior, being in queer relationships. I think instead of normalizing bisexuality or sexual fluidity, we are being complacent in preserving heterosexual status, even when their behavior contradicts that. We are putting heterosexual status on a pedestal. We are, instead of normalizing that there's fucking bi people out here, that there's sexual fluid people out here, we are normalizing that being straight, being heterosexual is to be protected and preserved. And I think that is internalized homophobia when we do that. I think that is homophobic when we do that. We are being complacent and perpetuating it. Now, it doesn't mean, now let me say this, because I put this in my notes. Some people defend these situations by saying identity is self-defined and behavior alone does not determine orientation. Now, that can be spicy to some people. But for example, some people might experiment and have isolated experiences, like 1 time, 2 times, but then it was cool, but they didn't like it. So now they back to doing whatever they do. And they have complicated feelings about identity and sexuality and blah, blah, blah. I think that can be true to a degree. You get what I'm saying? I think that if it's just a one-time thing, even twice, I don't necessarily feel comfortable saying somebody, because they experimented and then was like, I experimented, now I ain't fucking with it. I don't feel that is the type of person that I think always should be like, oh, I'm gay or I'm bisexual. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that is necessarily appropriate. But for me, my stance on it is less about policing labels and more about like social patterns. Why is straight treated as such a prize category that needs to be protected, that people bend the reality to preserve it? Like, why is straightness, why are we bending the reality? If you out here fucking and sucking on peen and you got a peen, why are we bending the reality to where straightness is the pinnacle? And for me, I if I have to accept my transness, y'all want me to say I'm trans, cool. I'm okay with that. But why you can't accept your bisexuality? Why can't you accept your queerness? And ultimately, I want you on the front line. I'm gonna need y'all not to be voting against your queer interests. Bitch, you are a queer person. Okay. Let me see. So I talked about facts. Straightness was violently forced on all of us. A lot of men run when their bisexuality or queerness is brought up. I believe because heterosexuality is set as a foundation for so many systems, socially, economically, politically, this system requires us to bend all of our realities. Come on. That's a word, Westbrook. I agree. I agree. I agree. I just don't like the idea that it's the I don't like it's the idea that it's the prestigious one. Okay. All right. More. Oh, no, I didn't want to erase that. So I talked about the Alonzo and T.S. Madison interview. Make sure y'all check that out on Outlaw. I think it was a powerful conversation. I want to talk about Dame Dash and Jason Lee. This is so like low vibrational conversation, but I want to kind of point it out just because here's the this is a good example.
I'm not gay. Really? This would certainly explain the cold feet. Oh, and the boyfriend. So, you're bisexual? No, I'm straight. Cotter, the guy you met, he's gay. He had a crush on me. I left. After 3 years? Well, it's possible. Doesn't mean you're gay just because the guy you're sleeping with is. We weren't sleeping together. What's this got to do with anything? Lung tap turned up mononucleosis. ER doesn't routinely test for it. Explains a PE and can be virtually asymptomatic. We got to wondering, how does a 27-year-old get mono? You're a little old for the kissing disease, unless your immune system is compromised. If there's been any unprotected sex, we'll need to test for HIV. There's been no sex of any kind. Okay. We'll go test your fiance for HIV. Is she the curious sort? Wait. There may have been some contact, but I'm not gay. One of the top 10 most common household accidents. I did a lot of stupid things, but I turned my life around. I'm as straight as any of you. You don't have to believe me. I'm just saying you can test me. As long as you don't tell Nicole. I thought that was a good young MA is becoming
a Brittney Griner to me. Explain that. What do you mean becoming a Brittney Griner? What does that mean? So this is Diamond Dash on what you call it.
But that's because I don't think they like the way I was talking to him. By the way, what the fuck is that? What's that right there? It's bothering me.
What, the eggplant?
But yeah, why?
Oh, we give that to people whose dicks leak on the internet. But that's
pause for the whole show.
You're not getting one of those.
No, we don't even want. I'm like, what the fuck is that right there? Why am I even seeing that in my peripheral?
But I know you're.
That's an AO, by the way.
That
pause.
But okay, for vegans, they can just say it's just our appreciation for vegetables.
You crazy. Go ahead.
Okay, wait. The reason why I hit that.
But at least you know what? At least you're not. To me, you're Charlemagne, right? And
so am I going to get attacked now?
Meaning you admit who you are, but he doesn't. So this is how Charlemagne should do it.
I'm gay. Charlemagne is not gay.
He's definitely gay.
He's not gay.
You know he's
By
gay.
The way,
allegedly, you know he's gay.
Interview
you got gaydar. You're never going to tell me. Wait, hold on. You're gay, right?
Yes.
If you ever kissed at a man and said he had a fatty, pause, and he comes back, would you think he was gay?
If a man...
Be real.
Wait, damn. If a man...
If you kissed at me and I came back, pause.
If I kissed a man...
If you kissed at my fatty, pause. As a matter of fact, I can't even say that. Let's start over.
Yeah. Let me say this. I think I've been thinking this for years. There's nothing more gay to me than having to... everything that come out of your mouth, it got to go through a filter of does this sounds like it does homosexual innuendo? Like for me to have to say pause at every fucking thing, that means gayness is so forward in your brain. Homosexuality is so forward in your brain that everything you say, it has to go through a filter of, does this sound gay when I say it? If you are doing that, that isn't a fucking obsession. Like, it doesn't make fucking sense how y'all are so obsessed with homosexuality. Why if everything you say gotta have a pause behind it because you are, do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, in order for you to see the innuendo of every fucking thing that you say, that means you have to be thinking about gay shit all the fucking time. I just don't understand. Like, in order for... I don't know any way to explain it. Like, everything that comes out of your mouth, you gotta think about, does it sound gay? Like, I gotta say pause to it. That shit is crazy.
If a dude that you thought was heterosexual, and you kissed at him and talked about his fatty, pause, and he came back, would you assume he was gay?
I would assume that.
Yes or no?
I would assume he was curious about getting in.
So you're saying that Charlemagne?
Wait, did Charlemagne do that? I didn't see him do that.
He said he did it. That's why I heard.
Maybe it was joke. Charlemagne laughed.
No, it wasn't.
He jokes.
Okay, so that's not being real, and I thought you'd be the realist.
No, I am real.
Now you're a gay guy.
No, I am real. I laugh.
You're gay. You can't tell me that you.
I laugh with Charlemagne every time.
You'll probably be whispering and cut all kind of stuff that you can't do with another heterosexual.
You too obsessed.
Men definitely whisper.
Not the other men.
When they're playing basketball, the NBA, I watch.
So that's why I don't play basketball no more. I ain't doing all that.
Okay, no D. Okay, so
to me, that feels insane. It is the same thing, but Dame is definitely fighting demons. And I don't like, this is another thing that goes back to, I say this many times. I have a problem when people act like cishet homophobes are secretly gay. I feel like that is homophobic too. Like, these niggas' default is to hate gay people. They don't need to be secretly gay to hate gay people. That's their default. They don't need, I think saying that they secretly gay or that they are hiding their gayness or fighting against gayness still lays the blame on a gay person. It makes it seem, it's not saying that those type of people don't exist, but I don't think every heterosexual homophobe is secretly gay. I think that they're just taught to be anti-gay. They don't need to be secretly gay. They don't need to be some secret closeted homophobe, because I think it's homophobic for you to think that secret gays or DL gays all hate gays. I don't think that. I think some DL niggas don't hate gays. They just don't want the oppression that come with being gay. And so they're not out here beating up people, talking shit. I think that there are some cool DL niggas that don't have no negative. I met them. They ain't out here bashing people. They ain't out here. They shut the fuck up and be quiet. I don't think that all undercover gays are toxic and be out here being negative and being like this. I think that this is a default of straight men, even the ones who are not attracted to men. This is just their performing anti-gay performance. Exactly. That paints the narrative that gays are their own problem. No, it's just homophobic straight men. Period. Yes. What is the fixation with something that they claim they don't? Just like Christians' fixation with sinners. They're taught to hate sinners. They don't have to be secretly doing stuff. Sometimes it's just not, they've been taught to not like a particular thing. That's the default. It's not there like with other, like let's say other religions. It's not that they don't like, they know everything about Muslims. They are taught to be against them. They are taught to be against other religions. They're taught to call them demonic. They're taught to call any kind of witchcrafty, hoodoo type shit demonic. They're taught to do that. It don't mean they secretly Ifa. No. It don't mean they secretly a hoodoo priestess. No. They're taught to be against it. It's the default. And there are some straight men who are not secretly homosexual, who are not secretly on the down low. They are taught to be anti-gay, so they are anti-gay. Not because they are attracted to men. I think they're obsessed with the performance. They're obsessed with that. They're obsessed with that performance. It has to be exhausting. It has to be. To have the gayness on your brain all the time. And it puts you in a situation where they will weaponize anything homosexual, even if it's problematic. So here's another scenario.
You done admitted to being fucked in the ass by a Hollywood executive. You wouldn't fight nobody, nigga. You done admitted to being fucked in the ass by a Hollywood executive. You wouldn't fight nobody, nigga. You didn't fight them niggas out your ass. No, you didn't fight them niggas out your ass in Hollywood. Tough ass nigga. When they were trying to fuck you, did you fight? Between him and Jaguar Wright, they never sit down and have a serious conversation. It's always some theatrics to it. Mm-hmm. It's always some theatrics. So that's why you can't take what they saying for real, because it's always some theatrics. It's never a real conversational dialogue. Yeah, homie, no, come on, man. Yeah, so I called bullshit on everything. Him outside of a hotel. Who was that?
So I don't need to worry about the rest of that. But you're weaponizing his harm. This is when straight men and patriarchy adjacent men love to throw it up in feminists and women's face that y'all don't care about our issues and our problems. Bitch, we the ones who do care about y'all motherfuckers. We the ones who is telling you to get therapy. We are the ones who are telling you to, and I'm not saying that there's no cis women that don't hold up patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. That's not a norm. There are some common themes that women clearly say you need to work out your shit. It is the men who will make you, literally, he's doing it right now. Orlando Brown said that he was harmed or put in compromising situations as a kid when, in his life. This nigga just weaponized it against him. You wasn't fighting them niggas when they were trying to get up in your ass. This is the toxic masculinity shit, that the performance shit that we are talking about that harms y'all. This is that y'all perpetuate. This homophobic shit that y'all perpetuate that doesn't allow y'all to be free, even on your own terms. You are literally throwing this man's trauma in his face to emasculate him. That's what he's doing. Let's listen to it again.
You done admitted to being fucked in the ass by Hollywood executive. You wouldn't fight nobody, nigga. You done admitted to being fucked in the ass by Hollywood executive. You wouldn't fight nobody, nigga. You didn't fight them niggas out your ass. No, you didn't fight them niggas out your ass in Hollywood. Tough ass nigga when they were trying to fuck you.
Is that not emasculating? Rooted in homophobia? This is their default. This is what they do. This is how they don't allow themselves to be free. They quick to blame it on the women's, as Andrew Caldwell would say, the women's. They quick to blame it on the women's, but it is they uphold that shit, and I think that is fucking weird. I think that is weird. I think that it is toxic. I think that it is something that they need to work out. They need to work on outside of us as queer people, outside of us as women, that they don't acknowledge. You got some men out here that's kind of like acknowledging it. We see that. I see them sometimes. But in this debauchery of the culture, when I think of the people who tune in to people like Charleston White, people like, these podcasts that center men in that kind of way, I don't see them calling it out. I see them laughing. It's a joke. Like, even right then, they're laughing and kikiing about it. There's nobody in the moment right now saying, ooh, you kind of going below the belt. That's his trauma, and we need to care about that. But they want to tell women to care about it, not because they really give a fuck, but just to absolve them from accountability from their own not caring about people being harmed out here, sexually harmed particularly. Hi, son. How are you? Thank you. They match my shirt. Yeah, I find it to be quite. They only bring that shit up when they're trying to skirt around accountability when it comes to their complacency around harms against women and femmes. But even in their own circles, they're not tender and careful around issues like that. Hey, Darcel. But I also think that I don't think we should be platforming these people. What do they bring to the culture other than mess? Like Jason Lee, that fucking interview just becomes so messy and it does nothing but it doesn't move the culture forward in any kind of way. It's just going to be used as fodder because it gets worse. His homophobia in that situation, it's crazy. I'm like, why would you even bring him on the show, Jason? There are just some people, I know clicks and views is important to some people, but there are just some people that I would never have on my show. It's just some people I just would never have. I wouldn't want to platform them. As a queer person, who are you without racism? That's one of my favorite Toni Morrison interviews. If I gotta be on my knees for you to feel tall, for you to be strong, who are you? Who are you without racism? Your little self. Where can I get this shirt? It is trying to see if I can find it. The company is called Black and Ugly. That's where I got it. It's a short set. That's where I got it from. I think that they are about to stop making it. There's a Green Book collection, but I got the short set one, which I love. It's shorts and the top, which I like. So, and they got good customer service too. I accidentally ordered two shorts instead of the top and the shorts, and I hurried up and emailed them, and they got back to me fast and fixed my order and mailed me. It was all good. Mailed me my stuff. Yeah. So I got the shorts. I got the shorts in a 4. I got the shorts in a 4X, a 4XL, a 4X. I think that's what it is, 4X. And I got the top in a 3X because, I'm a little cakey. So I got to make sure that my bottoms are big so they can fit the way I want to fit. But the 3X is cool too. I really think that I should have got this in a 2X. So I should have got the top in a 2X and the 4 and the bottoms in the 4. But the 3 is okay. It's comfortable. It's, you know what I'm saying? But it also, I don't know, I think another button. Do you watch Hood Rats to Hair Raps? No, I don't. I am a is that Erica Hart? I am a Erica Hart fan. I watch her on the videos, but I don't listen to her podcast. I don't listen to the podcast, but I do listen to like her videos and stuff. I got where is my what is let's see. Oh, here we go. I went to Erica's event and got her new book, Nasty Work. Make sure you check it out. She is dope. I love her. So yes, I don't listen to the podcast, but I do support her. I love her. She's actually going to come on the show. Actually, we talked about it at her event. So once I figure out a time that I got time to do it, she's gonna be on the show. I need her to be in my archive. The birthday dress video. What is the birthday dress video? What's that? But to explain about my Young Ma point, I think Young Ma is going into the territory of Brittney Griner. This trans masculine, not aligned with 100% lesbian culture, sees the women they deal with as straight. So I don't know too much about Brittney Griner. I always thought that she just identified as a masculine lesbian. So I don't know. I don't listen to her talk enough to know her politics around gender and stuff. So I don't know. So I don't know how to compare them. I've listened to Young Ma more. I have identity wise, I have heard Brittney say something along the lines of, call me whatever you want to call me. You know what I'm saying? But I never heard her identify as trans. The video did about the guy in college who bought you the dress. Oh, the woman dress. Why did you bring that up? What was it? What was it about that video? What happened? Another old video of yours I missed, like the one you spoke out of night. Why are you why are you bringing it up? Well, what was about it? Why did that? What's the context of you bringing it up? I'm trying to understand. Well, what about it? You saying that's still up? I didn't delete it. It was just called the woman dress. Are you just referencing it because you said it's a video that you like? Wasn't that Brittney girl the trans hating lesbian, or am I her and somebody else mixed up? I've never heard Brittney say anything anti-trans. Not that anything that I watch. Now I don't know, but like I said, I don't watch her enough to know her politics around things, but I haven't heard anything about her being anti-trans. As a matter of fact, I think I did hear her say something about being pro-trans in sports, I think. Yeah, I never heard her say anything anti-trans, but I don't know for sure. Link us to a video if you find it. I don't know. I know she fine. Oh, I know she fine. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, Dominique Morgan is free. Dominique Morgan is free and out. I live for my sister being out. Yay. It was funny. I had posted that she was going to be out Thursday, like about 2 weeks ago. And somebody was in the comments, she's not going to be out. She's going to be sentenced. And I had to come back to them comments and say, bitch, like I said, she was going to be out Thursday. Y'all love to act like y'all know what the fuck is going on, and you don't. I saw Mighty's video about it. She was cracking me up. I haven't seen it. I've been asleep all day, so I've been kind of out of the internet loop. But I did comment. I did comment on my homegirl Janicia's comment, and I put it on there. Let me read what Janicia said. So Janicia said, one thing, Janicia's been on the show. She's from Tea with Queen and Jay. One of the things that concerns me about the anti-carceral folks demanding accountability from Dominique Morgan is that while you as an individual are anti-carceral, she was in fact incarcerated by the state in the world that we live in. The community sought justice from the state, and Dominique was punished the way the state punishes. And now we want her to be accountable to the community immediately today, as if this was handled in-house on community time. That's weird, y'all. And I thought that the point that she is making is exactly what infuriates me about it. So I commented and I said, and a community accountability had already been negotiated when she was fired from Oka Project. Because this isn't about whether she did something wrong. We know what happened. We know that she did something wrong. But I want y'all to clock the timeline, because I've been knowing about this for 4 years now. The community accountability had already been negotiated when she was fired from Oka Project. So when she was fired from Oka Project, they already had the accountability in regards to, we're going to fire you. We're going to handle this. We're just going to leave it alone. We're going to not give you no severance package. We're going to just let you go and go on about your business. The consequences of you doing this stuff, because we can't really, it is kind of weird. And because we're fluckery around the money stuff, it's just not looking good for any of us. So, but this just seems weird. So we're going to let you go, and we're going to vote to kick you out, the board and some of the people and some of the underlings. We're going to vote to kick you out. So you are fired and you're not getting no severance pay. That is the consequences of your actions. Dominique says, damn, how am I going to find another job? I'm worried. I just moved to Atlanta. If you remember, she moved from Omaha to Atlanta, and she moved into a house and into renting a house, and she's jobless. So she was really panicking about, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I left Black and Pink, went to Oka thinking that it was going to be secure, and then bam, I don't have no job no more because of my actions. But here we go. I'm worried about it. But now I have to deal with the consequences of my actions, that now I don't have a job. I'm worried about where I'm going to stay, blah, 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 blah. She applies for a position at Borealis. Okay. So mind you, so accountability has happened. Consequences has happened. She goes to another job. Shady people behind the scenes, trans girls who don't like her, trans girls who hate the fact that she just got into transition and getting all this props, they thought they took her down by getting her fired from Okra Project. But boom, she gets the job at Borealis over another fund of money. Not that she now she's the grant giver. She's like, oh, I can give you. She's not over the money, like she got access to the money. She's just leading the charge of giving money to people and organizations. And so she leads this project. What is it called? Future for Trans Generations with Borealis. And so because she now, okay, bam, I got fired from that job. I'm on the up and up. I'm straight. I'm not doing nothing else. I don't have access to no coffers. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm good because I just was worried about my livelihood. I'm going to do everything right now. That's what she learned from those consequences in Okra Project. Boom. But the girls who thought that they had knocked her down, they didn't like it. They didn't like that she could just go to another org and start being even more successful and start doing amazing work. Because even amongst the Okra Project stuff, she was doing amazing stuff. They didn't like it. So now they send an email, they send information about what happened at Okra Project to Borealis's leadership. Borealis suspends her for a little bit while they do an investigation. They don't find anything legitimate enough to fire her because it wasn't enough evidence to fire her. Even at Okra Project, it wasn't enough to be like to fire her. Yes, but they voted to fire her out. There wasn't enough to kind of like do anything. And so now that Borealis is doing the investigation, they don't find anything because it's nothing to really. She's already been. Why the fuck at another job? Why what happens at another job affects what I'm doing now? That's what's weird. It's like you let these people tell you about what was going on at another job, at my new job. I'm not doing nothing at my new job, and you trying to wear me out. It didn't work. It didn't work. She didn't get fired. She got suspended for a little bit, and then they brought her back because they didn't find anything. So, once again, at the new job, y'all try to get me fired. It doesn't work out. I start doing continue to do my amazing, great work. Once you try to get me fired and I don't get fired, boom. I get back on the job, doing my thing, blah, 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 blah. So, mind you, this was 4 years ago. So now, boom, they mad again that the investigation didn't get her fired from that second job. They were mad about that. That infuriated them. We're talking about the haters. We all in the same community, so we all connected. We all know what's going on. We all hear the rumors, people talking about each other on the phone, talking about what's happening with Okra Project and blah, blah, blah. Everybody is talking about it behind the scenes. The haters and the lovers, the people who love her and the people that hate her. We're talking about it because we know what's going to happen. We're all connected. I'm connected with people who are on her fiscal board, who are on her fiscal, the fiscal sponsor. I knew the raggediness of the fucking, of the org, like not just on some Dominique shit, just on the raggediness of the org. And so she doesn't get fired from the second job. That infuriates the people who is out to get her fired, who is out to get her taken down. It sounds like the mob takedown type of shit. It was very that. It's Mean Girl. It's not necessarily mob. It's Mean Girl. That's what it is. The investigation happened. She got suspended at the second job, but didn't get fired. That infuriated them. So instead of them taking it So now that it didn't work at the new job, they take the information to Brooklyn DA. So now we can't get you in the normal ways. So let's take it to the laws. These are the same people who talk about being abolitionists, community accountability, blah, 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 blah. So they take it to the Brooklyn DA. And then once that explodes, once the news and the indictment happen, the second job now has no other choice but to fire her, because now your public stuff is bleeding into the image of us and we got to let you go. So they end up getting her fired. So now she goes, this happens within a 3-year period. Do you see what I'm saying? So she gets fired from the job, the first job, get the second job, get under investigation. Nothing happens because they couldn't find anything. Fast forward to a year later when she's on the job and she's good at that same second job. So she's worried about getting fired that first time at the second job. She gets over that hump. They don't fire her. Then the shit comes out because the girls go snitch to the fucking Brooklyn DA. And then now she actually does get fired from the job. But this is after she done all this work. And then some of the girls benefited from that work. They literally get their payroll and shit done because of the connection that Dominique brought to them. So now she gets fired from the second job. So, the haters is like, hooray, 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 hooray. The haters is like, hooray, we got her fired from the second job. So, mind you, at this point, for the wrongdoing at the first job, she now has been fired twice from 2 jobs. And she got, and I'm not saying that you did something wrong. This is the consequences, da-da-da-da. I'm just saying that this is imbalanced to me. And this is, of course, I done already said that I'm biased because that's my fucking bitch. I fuck with Dominique. So that's that. But outside of my biasness, you did something wrong at this job. I don't feel like you should be getting fired at your other job. That's late to me. I think that that's tired. I don't think that that's cool for even my enemy. You did something wrong, got fired at another job. You supposed to not work in no jobs. It's kind of like when niggas get locked up. Recently, this is a whole different subject, but recently a dude was working. There's something went viral where a dude was working for DoorDash, and DoorDash fired him and took him off the app because they found out that he had some kind of law breaking history. I think that that's late and tired. If he went to jail and he has paid his debt to society as far as going to jail, how the fuck you supposed to take care of yourself if you are every job, you can't fucking work at the job because of your past? How do you change your life? Yeah, he might have did this shit when he was in his 20s, but he's doing DoorDash. And I'm not talking about a job like, you working at a bank. We're talking about fucking DoorDash. How the fuck you gonna fire him by his past on a fucking DoorDash job? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you might not let a motherfucker go work with some fucking money at the bank if they got some thieving and certain particular type of crimes. Yes, if you fucking out here raping and assaulting and doing kind of weird shit, you can't work at the fucking daycare. I get that, but we're talking about DoorDash, bitch. If you got some you got some auto theft, because I think his stuff was auto theft, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he got an auto theft charge. Why the fuck he can't fucking work at DoorDash? The fuck out of here. He can't deliver people fucking food. How the fuck he supposed to take care of himself? Anyway, that's a whole other subject. I thought that pissed me off earlier this week when I saw that. Anyway, because y'all want to hold people accountable. When does that stop, bitch? When does that stop? So, okay, back to Dominique. So she got fired from 2 jobs based on what she did wrong there. So, these are consequences, girl. That shit happened. So she said, fuck it. Cool. Let me go get in cahoots with T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison been trying to get into the nonprofit game. She got clout. She got popularity. She can open up. She wants to move into her new house and she wants to repurpose the grand chateau into some transitional living house. Let me use my connection as Dominique Morgan, who has been out here doing these foundation work. Let me connect her with Nacium. And being smart, being the smart girl that T.S. Madison and Dominique is, because I know the history and the past of bitches being haters, I ain't going to even put myself in any connection to the money. So Nacium, the legitimate nonprofit, is taking care of all of that. Not me, not Dominique Morgan, not T.S. Madison. Nacium is handling all the donations. So neither one of them are taking money into their own accounts about this scenario with the starter house. And actually, Madison is paying a lot of the bills over there. So because of that, Dominique comes out of, y'all done got her fired. She comes out of the flame like a phoenix and gets in this situation with Madison and is getting publicity. So you know the girls who just had a successful takedown of the amazing Dominique Morgan, the shady girls behind the scene, we just was able to get her fired from her job. For her to come back and be a part of this new program with T.S. Madison, and we can't just email Madison and get her fired because Madison will be, bitch, fuck you. That's my sister, and she's doing what she needs to do at this project for me. So unlike other institutions that would care about the past, Dominique is in a situation where y'all can't get Madison to throw me away. So you know the girls are evil. The girls are evil. That's the problem. And then now she's growing her social media to the level that it has grown. And so the girls who were mad about it, to me, the girls who are in the situation who don't like Dominique are like, accountability. But she done went to jail. She done got fired from 2 jobs. What other level of accountability does she need? She done went and did her 30 days. When we talk about accountability, it's the consequences. Now, if you as an individual don't want to fuck with her, that's okay. But when we talking about accountability, we keep throwing about accountability. What is accountability? Ain't that the consequences? Ain't that admitting that I did something wrong, which she did? Ain't that like she went and she done pay her dues. She went into jail for fucking 30 days. So what more? It started to get to a point where it's not really about accountability. It's about you just wanting you want her to be flogged, tarred, and feathered in the middle of the square. You want other people who love and respect her to throw her away. And when you see we're not doing that, you mad. It's about crucifixion at this point. Yeah. And we got to give it context too. At the most, okay? At the most, based on what the DA said, at the most, Dominique got $90,000. That's not true. But at the most, there was $90,000 that was not accounted for in these fake ass business receipts, the fake receipts. And people, this is another element to it. People like, but that's money that could have went to community. She was saying that she was she was bailing people out, and she wasn't bailing people out. Dominique was bailing people out. Not in those situations, but I've seen her bail people out. I've seen her get people housing. I've seen her do things in the moment to help people. So it was simultaneous stuff going on that you can't throw away. Making it seem like Dominique didn't go at all to get people out of jail. You lying. I know people that she got out of jail. Making it seem like Dominique wasn't saving people's organization and payroll.